Welcome back, folks. I have a good example of active scouting gameplay for you. So today we're playing the LTTB, the Tier 7 Russian light tank. Now Russian tanks are known for being aggressive, in-your-face type of vehicles, and the light tanks are no exception, so they make great active scouts. I have coated optics and vents to help me with the active scouting, but the LTTB feels like the spiritual successor to the T50-2. This tank is pretty nimble, it's very fast. It has 90mm of sloped frontal armor with 85mm gun. It's basically a T-34-85 on drugs. It's pretty good. But today I'll show you how to play active scouts. I'll provide you with some advice and tips and warn you against some of the common mistakes a lot of players play with active scouting light tanks. So I'll pause right now. Initially, know the general direction of where your opponents are going to be. Do not go to camping spots, obviously, unless you know that they're not there yet. So on this map, Erlenberg, or Derpenberg, and we're playing encounter mode, I know that some heavy tanks and tank destroyers are crossing this bridge right now into this cover right here, and this cover right here. So initially, I'm faster than they are. I'll make a circle loop around the castle and spot them. So active scouting does not mean scouting with your hull. You can scout with your optics. Active scouting does not mean you drive next to your opponents. That's not how optics work. You do not need to stand next to your opponents to see them, alright? You have view range. So with coated optics, with my crew, I can see almost 440 meters. I can scout with that range, and light tanks keep the camouflage rating. So do not just suicide scout. That's what I'm trying to warn you against. But initially, know the general direction of where your opponents are going to be, and you can spot them initially very quickly. So here we go. I'm going to make the circle loop. As you can see, we spotted a bunch of heavy tanks. Now, do not directly engage. You are a scout. Run away. So I spotted a few tank destroyers. The FCM took a pot shot. Now, always make sure you have an escape route planned, and do not directly engage your enemies unless you have fire support. So right now I made contact. Lucky shot, but okay. Nice hit from the Black Prince, so good shot on him. Once you make encounters with your enemies, serpentine, invasive maneuvers, do not let them shoot you, alright? Just zigzag around. Always look where you're going. Do not point your gun, auto aim and fire, and look at if you're hit or miss. Look where you're going. Sometimes you hit a building and you get stuck, and therefore you die like a dead cockroach. Now right now, I pause right now. As you can see, I spotted a bunch of heavy tanks, tier 8s and tier 7s right here. It's pointless for me to go back because we have a T-32. He can scout for himself at close range. He does not need me there. And if I go there, I'll probably get shot again. So they know I'm already in this area and they expect me to be around to do the active scouting. I do not have to be there because they are in close proximity to my teammates. Alright, they have optics of their own. They can spot for themselves. They do not need me. And they have the armor. Yeah, I don't have the armor. So basically right now, my team on the right flank is being held up right here by AMX 1375. So they are stuck, and this 1375 is reporting my teammates' location, and they are being suppressed right now. So right now I decided to head to the right flank and do some active scouting on this hill right here. So always redirect your attention to where it's needed. So don't go towards like heavy infested heavy tank area. It's bad for your health. So as you can see, this KV-85 is being pummeled because the AMX 1375 spots him, and it appears to be a Yak Tiger 88 on the opposite hill. So right now, use the cover if you can. Always keep moving, do not stop. But here we can see a bunch of tanks. Now do not slow down. Use cover. All right. Always look where you're going. This E25 is shooting at us. We're serpentine, so the tracks took a hit. Lost like 50% health there. That was bad, but yeah, we spotted a bunch of tanks, and the main fire force, the Centurion and the STA, are providing the fire support. So right now, I disappeared. I'm going to take some revenge shots. Missed. Yak Panther. Oh, Yak Panther 4. Detract him. Constantly pokes him. Playing active scouts is basically annoying the opponents with pesky pecking. Your gun does not do a lot of damage, but if you find a straggling or isolated target, like this Yak Tiger 88, I do not know what he is doing away from his teammates, but I block off his route, prevent him from going back, make sure the AMX 1375 is not shooting at me, and he's dead. So always make sure you have your teammates behind you to provide cover support, alright, cover fire. You do not want to spot for nobody, otherwise spotting is pointless, right? So right now I have a Baby Panther and an Oho. Switch to gold. I do not need it for the Baby Panther, but whatever. Switch back to AP. Now once you get shot as a light tank, always take cover. Do not stand still, even if you have an autoloader. Icy Bulldogs will stand there taking hits as long as they're pumping out shots. Do not do that. Take cover. You're light tanks. Everybody wants to shoot at light tanks because of lack of armor. Easy kill. If you're standing still, it's even easier. No. But this tank has armor. Against the 75mm gun. Yeah, this tank has armor. So right now, we have to help the team. I have my teammates behind me, so I'm a little bit more courageous than normal. So I have a bunch of medium tanks and heavy tank behind me. They're providing heavy support, so to speak. So right now, I'm going to engage the Oho. But always make sure you take care of the most threatening target first. So this Oho is not looking at us. He's slow, has a big gun, but it's inaccurate. It takes a long time to aim. The most threatening enemy right now is the E25. So I have to take care of him first. Try to detract the Oho. Trying to aim for the drive wheel. Oh, okay, penetrated. So, kill the E25. You can shoot through fence. Alright, fence is a destructible environment. You can shoot through it. Penetrated the rear with gold shell. Okay. But when you're playing active scouts, do not focus on damage. Try to detract. Detract. Damage is a plus, but try to detract. Spot for your teammates. Have fire support. Spotting for nobody means you're not getting damage. So do not spot for nobody. Have a purpose. Also, light tanks, active scouting light tanks are annoying. They do pesky damage. Like against this IS. So he's probably looking at me, but make sure that he fires first. There you go. And go back to pecking him. Annoy the crap out of him. And there you go. He's out. The problem with the LTTB is it has only 3 degrees of gun depression. Now, very importantly, playing active scouts or playing running around headless chicken scouts, you have to have good reflex. And a lot of people complain, Sam, you auto-aim too much and snapshot like a noob. Well, if I don't do auto-aiming and snapshot, I would have been dead. The AMX 1375 almost killed me. So basically, playing active scouts is like playing a drug-fueled, adrenaline-pumping, crazed addict. You have to be very responsive to your environments, and you have to have the reflex of a ninja, right? If you don't, you get killed. So it's basically like Jason Statham in Crank. If you haven't watched that movie, it's hilarious. It's such a stupid movie, but it's basically running around, and if you stop, you're dead. So right now, I do not know where the Tiger 2 is on the map, so I'm waiting for my teammates to spot him. There we go. And I'm going to shoot him for more XP. We spot the Hummel. I want a Top Gun, but sad to say, no Top Gun for me. Oh well. But light tanks are basically annoyance. They are just in front of the active fighting force, alright? They're not like headless chicken running around in the field. No, that's not how you play active scouts. Active scouts are just minutes or seconds before the main fire force. A good active scout will provide the initial spotting, and within 5 seconds or so, then comes the main fire. So if you get spotted by an active scout, if your opponents are any competent, you will receive a lot of hits with the active scouts. Active scouts do not expose themselves initially for no reason whatsoever. They only expose themselves if their teammates are ready to fire, like artillery, tank destroyers already have a lock on or pre-aimed at your position or good camping spots on different maps. So active scouts are not always suiciding. They know what they're doing. They're scouting for their teammates exactly when the teammates are set up to fire upon you. So be warned, active scouts, good active scout players, do not expose themselves too early on. So yeah, that's a very good gameplay demonstration of the LTTB, one of the best active scouts in the game. And there you go, folks, a proper demonstration of active scouting for you. We even got the high caliber and Confederate medals to go along with the scout medal. So yeah, that's how you do active scouting. Active scouting is basically running around with a knife in Call of Duty. You spot people, you take advantage of isolated targets, you kill them off, and you run away. You do not engage like a machine gunner, alright? That's basically a heavy tank. You do not directly engage unless you have the confidence or the support you need to kill the guy. So playing active scouts is basically playing a guy running around with a knife. And yeah, it's a fun adrenaline rush craze of a role to play on the battlefield. So if you like playing with adrenaline, if you're high on adrenaline or if you're crazy, active scouting is for you. But it's a little bit different than passive scouting. Active scouting is, they call it the witch in Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, way back when. But passive scouting is more of the guy camping with a shotgun. So that's a decent analogy. But yeah, he is basically camping in a bush. He waits for you. If he has the advantage, he'll use the shotgun, the burst damage, and kill you off, and he runs away with the shotgun. So that's passive scouting for you. Active scouts just runs around with the knife because he's faster than the passive scout, and he knifes people and basically runs away. A little bit difference, but yeah, there's some difference between active scouting and passive scouting. But if you like playing with adrenaline, if you're crazy, then active scouting is for you. Passive scouting is more for a tank destroyer, light tank base hybrid. They camp in a bush and they wait like an AMX 1390. And if they have the advantage, they'll burst you down with the autoloader and they run away. So that's passive scout. But hopefully you learn a little bit about active scouting. Hopefully you learn how to do and what not to do as a scout in active role of scouting. So do not get trapped. Always look where you're going. That's very important. You scout with the optics. You do not scout with the hull of the vehicle. So do not park next to your opponents. That's not how you scout. That's basically suicide with the side effect of scouting. So do not do that. You scout by running around the outside view range of your opponents and you run away. Always make sure you have an escape route planned. Do not directly engage your opponents unless you have fire support. Alright, that's also very important. And never fight a fair fight. Alright, even if you have an autoloader against a non-autoloader, that's not fair enough. Alright, so make sure you have a unfair advantage over your opponents to have a direct conflict or engagement with them. So if you directly engage a Yak Tiger 88 by yourself, make sure you have teammates to help you support killing this Yak Tiger 88, so you do not spend that much time hanging around. Otherwise, their teammates will show up and kill you. So yeah, always fight with the unfair advantage. But hopefully you guys learn a little bit about active scouting. And yeah, I carried the team. Even got a high caliber medal. What the frick? Oh, surprising. So surprising. But yeah, that's the power of active scouts. So they do a lot of damage if they're left unchecked, but their main purpose is not damage. They're providing tracking, detracts you. They're providing the sight and ears of the team. So getting damage is a plus, but you do not focus on damage. But yeah, we got Confederate medal, we got a high caliber medal. Now, light tanks are getting shot because they're active scouts, and active scouts tend to die pretty quickly, so do not expose yourself too long. But yeah, that's the proper way of playing active scouts for you. Hopefully you guys learn a little bit, and thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.